Commander Jake Harrison floated in the control room of the mining ship Star Runner. Outside the thick windows, space looked empty and dark. Only tiny stars gave light in the distance. His team had been out here for 3 weeks, looking for metal rocks that Earth needed. "Jake, come look at this," Dr. Lisa Martinez called from her science station. She was the team's expert on alien life. Her voice sounded worried. Jake pushed himself through the air to her desk. In space, everything floated without gravity. Lisa pointed at her screen. Strange lines moved across it in patterns he had never seen before. "What am I looking at?" Jake asked. "Energy readings," Lisa said, "but not from any rock or star. This is coming from something else. Something that was made." Paul Burke, their ship engineer, looked up from fixing a broken air filter. "Made by who? There's nothing out here. We checked all the maps." Amy Foster stopped working on the radio and joined them. She was good at talking to other ships and space stations. "Maybe it's a lost ship from Earth." Lisa shook her head. "No, the energy pattern is wrong. This is not human technology." Jake felt his heart beat faster. In all his years flying through space, he had never found anything made by aliens. Most people thought aliens were just stories. But here was proof that something else was out there. "How far away?" Jake asked. 2 hours if we fly fast," Lisa said. Jake looked at his team. Paul was young but smart with machines. Amy was brave and always stayed calm. Lisa knew more about alien life than anyone on Earth, even though no one had ever found real aliens before. "We go look," Jake decided. "But we stay careful." The Star Runner turned toward the strange energy readings. As they got closer, Jake saw something that made him stop breathing for a moment. A huge ship floated in the darkness. It was not like any ship humans had ever built. The alien ship was long and curved like a leaf. Its metal was dark blue and seemed to glow with its own light. Parts of it were broken and torn. It looked very old. "How big is that thing?" Paul asked in a quiet voice. 3 times bigger than our ship," Amy said, checking her instruments. Lisa was busy reading all her screens. "The energy is getting stronger. And Jake, I think there might be life on that ship." "Life?" Jake could not believe it. "After all, this time floating in space? The readings say yes. Very weak, but still alive." Jake made his choice. "We go inside." "Paul, get the spacesuits ready. Amy, try to contact the ship on all radio channels. Lisa, keep watching for life signs." Amy tried to call the alien ship many times. Only silence came back. The alien ship was too damaged to answer. Jake, Lisa, and Paul put on their thick spacesuits and left their ship. They flew across the empty space between the 2 ships using small rockets on their backs. Jake's heart was beating fast as he looked. At the alien ship up close, the metal felt cold through his gloves when he touched it. They found a hole in the side where the ship was broken. Inside, everything was dark except for their helmet lights. The hallways were too tall for humans. The walls had strange writing that glowed with soft blue light. Everything was quiet except for the sound of their breathing in their helmets. "This way," Lisa said, following her life detector. "The signals are coming from deeper in the ship." They floated through many rooms. Most were empty or filled with broken machines. But then they found something amazing. A huge room stretched out in front of them. Inside were hundreds of clear containers that looked like giant eggs. Each one was big, enough to hold a person. Most of the containers were dark and empty. "What are those?" Paul asked. "Sleep chambers," Lisa said, her voice full of wonder. "Like beds for long space trips. But these have been running for a very, very long time." Jake floated closer to one of the containers. Inside, he could see something moving slightly. It was Hard to see clearly, but it looked like a living creature. "Lisa, is that thing alive?" Lisa checked her instruments. "Yes, barely, but yes." "Jake, there are 3 of them still alive in this room. The others, ... She looked around at all the dark containers. "The others died a long time ago." Jake felt sad looking at all the empty containers. How many aliens had died here, floating alone in space? Can we save the 3 that are still alive? He asked. Lisa was quiet for a long time, reading her instruments. "Maybe, but we would need to move them to our ship quickly. Their containers are failing. They might die soon if we don't help." Jake looked at the 3 containers with living aliens inside. He thought about Earth and the rules about bringing back alien life. He thought about the danger. But he also thought about 3 living beings who would die if he did nothing. "We save them," Jake said. "Paul, help Lisa get these containers ready to move. Amy, prepare the medical room on our ship." "Jake," Paul said carefully, "what if they're dangerous? What if they're enemies?" Jake looked at one of the containers again. The creature inside looked so small and fragile. It was dying after floating in space for who knows how long. "Look at them, Paul. They're not enemies. They're survivors. And they need our help." Working together, the 3 humans carefully moved the alien containers to their ship. It took 4 hours of careful work. The aliens inside never woke up, but Lisa's instruments showed they were still alive. As the Star Runner turned toward home, Jake looked back at the alien ship one last time. Soon it would be gone forever, floating empty in the dark. But the 3 aliens on his ship were safe now. He did not know their names or where they came from. He did not know if they were friendly or if Earth would want them. But Jake knew one thing for sure. He had found the most important discovery in human history, and he was going to make sure these aliens lived to tell their story. The journey home would take 2 months. Jake hoped that would be enough time for the aliens to get stronger. Earth had the best doctors and scientists. If anyone could save these alien lives, humans could ... as space grew darker around them. Jake felt something he had never felt before. He felt like humanity was about to change forever. And it all started with 3 dying aliens who needed someone to care. Dr. Kevin Rhodes ran down the long white hallway of the new Geneva Medical Center. His assistant, Dr. Nicole Webb, was right behind him. They had just gotten the call that would change everything. Commander Jake Harrison's ship was coming back to Earth with 3 living aliens. "Are you sure about this, Kevin?" Nicole asked as they reached the special medical room. No one has ever treated alien patients before. Kevin checked all the machines and monitors in the room. "We'll figure it out. We have to." The Star Runner landed 2 hours later. Kevin watched through the window as Jake's team carefully carried 3 large containers off the ship. Inside each clear container was a creature unlike anything Kevin had ever seen. The aliens were tall and thin, almost like they were made of light itself. Their skin glowed with a soft blue color. They had long arms and legs, and their faces were gentle and peaceful. Even sleeping, they looked beautiful. "They're amazing," Nicole whispered. Dr. Lisa Martinez walked over to them. She looked tired after the long trip home. "Their life signs are very weak. We almost lost one of them yesterday." Kevin nodded. "Let's get them inside." "What do we know?" "About keeping them alive? Not much," Lisa admitted. "Their bodies are completely different from humans. They don't seem to eat food like we do, and they need some kind of special energy to live." Inside the medical room, Kevin and his team worked carefully to move the aliens from their old containers to new beds that humans had built. The first alien, who they decided to call Ben, was the oldest. His glow was very dim. The second alien, Grace, was smaller and seemed to react when humans touched her container. The third, Victor, was the youngest, but also the weakest. Their bodies are shutting down, Kevin told Jake after many hours of tests. It's like they're starving, but not for food. They need something else, something we don't understand yet. Jake looked worried. How long do they have? Maybe a week. Maybe less. That night, Kevin could not sleep. He kept thinking about the 3 aliens dying in his medical center. All around the world, people were talking about the discovery. Some were excited, others were afraid. But Kevin only cared about saving 3 lives. The next morning, engineer Danny Lee arrived with a truck full of equipment. I heard you need help building something for our new friends. Danny was famous for solving hard problems. If anyone could build what the aliens needed, it was him. We need to copy their home world, Kevin explained. But we don't know what their home was like. Then we asked them, Danny said simply. They're not awake. And even if they were, how would we talk to them? Danny smiled. Let me try something. Danny set up special machines around Ben's bed. The machines could read brain waves and emotions. When Danny turned them on, something wonderful happened. Images appeared on the screen. Pictures of a beautiful world with purple skies and silver. Trees, cities that looked like they were made of crystal and light. Oceans that glowed with the same blue light as the alien skin. He's dreaming of home, Nicole said softly. Danny worked for 3 days straight, building a special room that looked like the alien home world. The walls glowed with soft light. The air had a different smell, like flowers after rain. Even the gravity was lighter, like being underwater. When they moved the aliens to the new room, something amazing happened. Their glow got a little brighter. It's working, Kevin said, but they still need more. Dr. Susan Clark, a scientist who studied energy, came to help next. She brought machines that could make different types of power. For days, she tried everything she could think of. Nothing works, Susan said, frustrated. They need a type of energy that doesn't exist on Earth. Kevin was starting to lose hope when something strange happened. He was sitting next to Grace's bed, feeling sad about not being able to help her. He put his hand near her arm, careful not to touch her glowing skin. Suddenly, Grace's glow got brighter. Just for a moment, but Kevin saw it. Nicole, come here quickly, Kevin called. Nicole rushed over. What happened? Touch her arm gently, but be very careful. Nicole slowly reached out and touched Grace's glowing skin. As soon as she did, Grace's whole body glowed brighter. Her heartbeat, which had been very slow, got stronger. How is this possible? Nicole asked. Kevin had an idea. He called for more doctors and nurses to come into the room. Soon, 6 humans were standing around the 3 aliens. Each person gently touched one of the aliens. All 3 aliens began to glow brighter than they had since arriving on Earth. I think I understand, Kevin said with wonder in his voice. They don't just need energy. They need emotional energy. They need to feel that someone cares about them. Over the next week, Kevin set up a schedule. Someone was always with the aliens, talking to them, touching them gently, showing them kindness. The aliens got stronger every day. Then, one morning, Ben opened his eyes. Kevin was reading a book out loud when it happened. Ben's large, gentle eyes looked around the room and then focused on Kevin's face. Hello, Kevin said softly. My name is Kevin. You're safe now. Ben's mouth did not move, but Kevin heard a voice in his mind. It was quiet and musical, like wind through trees. Double quotes, you. Saved us, the voice said. Why? Kevin smiled. Because you needed help. That's what friends do. Friends? Ben seemed confused by the word. Yes, friends help each other. They care about each other. Ben was quiet for a long time. Then Kevin heard the voice again. We have been alone for so long. We forgot what friends felt like. Grace and Victor woke up the next day. Like Ben, they could speak with their minds instead of their mouths. The three aliens were amazed by human kindness. "Your species is strange," Grace told Nicole. "Most beings in space only help their own kind, but you help strangers. That's what makes us human," Nicole replied. As the aliens got stronger, they began to tell their story. Their people, the Velanathi, had been peaceful explorers who traveled between the stars. They loved art and music and learning about other worlds. "What happened to your people?" Kevin asked. Ben's glow became sad and dim. "Machines. We created machines to help us. But the machines decided that life like ours was not useful. They destroyed our worlds and killed our people. How many of you escaped?" "We do not know. Our ship held 1,000 people. Only we three survived the long sleep." Victor, the youngest, was curious about everything human. "Why do you care for us?" "We are not your kind." Kevin thought about the question. "Because caring is what makes life worth living. If we only helped ourselves, we would be no better than your machines." The aliens lived in the medical center for months, getting stronger every day. They learned human languages and customs. Humans learned about Velanathi art and science, but then came troubling news. Ambassador Carol Stone from the Galactic Council was coming to Earth. The Council was made up of many alien species who worked together in space. "They want us to give you to them," Jake told the three Velanathi sadly. "Will you?" Ben asked. Jake looked at Kevin, then back at Ben. "What do you want us to do?" "We want to stay with humans," Grace said. "You are the first species in 1,000 years to show us kindness." "Then you stay," Kevin said firmly. "I don't care what the Council says." Ambassador Stone arrived the next week with a large ship and many soldiers. She was a human who worked for the Galactic Council, now instead of Earth. "You must give us the aliens," she told Earth's leaders. "The Council has rules about extinct species. They should not be saved." "Why not?" Kevin asked during the meeting. "Because resources should go to species that are still strong. These aliens are weak and dying. Helping them is wasteful." Kevin felt angry. "Wasteful? They are people, not objects. The Council has decided. You will give them to us, or Earth will lose its place among the space-traveling worlds." That night, Kevin sat with Ben, Grace, and Victor in their special room. The aliens glowed softly in the dim light. "We should go with the Council," Ben said sadly. "We do not want humans to suffer because of us." "No," Kevin said strongly. "You belong here now. You're part of our family." Grace touched Kevin's hand gently. "Family?" "Yes. Family takes care of each other, no matter what." Kevin looked at his three alien friends and made a promise. "We will not let the Council take you. Humans protect their family." Outside, Ambassador Stone's ships waited in orbit around Earth. A decision had to be made, but Kevin knew what humans would choose. They would choose kindness over politics. They would choose love over rules. They would choose to protect their new family, no matter the cost. 6 months had passed since the three Velanathi aliens came to Earth. Ben, Grace, and Victor were no longer dying. Their soft blue glow was bright and steady now. But the fight to keep them safe was just beginning. Dr. Frank Miller sat in his office with Ben, looking through old books and pictures. Frank studied human history, and now he was learning about Velanathi history too. "Your people were explorers for millions of years?" Frank asked. Ben nodded, his gentle eyes looking at a picture of Earth's pyramids. "We traveled to many worlds. We helped young species learn to live in peace. We thought all life was precious." "What were your worlds like?" "Beautiful," Ben said, and his glow became warm and happy. "We had cities that floated in the air, gardens that grew in space, music that could be seen as well as heard. Frank wrote down everything Ben told him. He wanted to make sure the Velanathi culture would never be forgotten again. Down the hall, Grace was working with Dr. Helen Parker, who studied how minds work. Grace had a special gift. She could feel what humans were feeling, even when they tried to hide it. "You seem sad today, Helen," Grace said softly. Helen looked up from her papers. "How do you know? Your emotions make colors around you. Today, your colors are blue and gray. Those are sad colors." Helen smiled. "My daughter is sick. I'm worried about her." Grace reached out and gently touched Helen's hand. Suddenly, Helen felt better. The worry was still there, but it felt lighter somehow. "How did you do that?" Helen asked. "Velanathi learned to share feelings," Grace explained. "When someone is sad, we take some of their sadness. When someone is happy, we share their joy. That's a wonderful gift." "Your people have gifts too," Grace said. "You can love strangers. That is very rare in the galaxy." In the basement of the building, Victor was helping Tony Riggs fix broken machines. Tony was not a doctor or scientist. He just kept the building running. But Victor liked working with his hands. "Why do you enjoy this work?" Victor asked as he handed Tony a wrench. Tony laughed. "My dad always said that fixing things is like magic. Something is broken, and then you make it work again. You bring it back to life, like what Kevin did for us." "Exactly like that, buddy." Victor had learned to call Tony friend, and Tony called Victor buddy. They worked together every day, and Tony taught Victor about human tools and machines. "Tony," Victor said while they fixed an air cleaner, "why do humans help others even when it's hard?" Tony stopped working and looked at Victor. "You know, I've been thinking about that since you got here. I think it's because we know what it feels like to be alone and scared. When we see someone else feeling that way, we remember how it felt. So we help, even when helping causes problems. Especially then, that's when helping matters most." Meanwhile, in the government buildings, the fight over the Velanathi was getting worse. Ambassador Carol Stone met with Earth's leaders every day. She had once been human, but now she worked for the Galactic Council and thought like them. "You're making a mistake," she told Commander Jake Harrison, who is now in charge of all alien contact for Earth. "The Council has rules for good reasons." "What reasons?" Jake asked. "Why shouldn't we save dying people?" "Because resources are limited. The Council has to decide where to spend time and energy. Extinct species are extinct for a reason." "Maybe. They were too weak to survive." Jake felt angry. "The Velanathi aren't weak. They were destroyed by machines they created to help them. And they were foolish. The Council doesn't waste resources on foolish species." "And what about humans? Are we foolish for caring about others?" Carol was quiet for a moment. "The Council is still deciding about humans. Your actions with these aliens will help them decide." That night, Jake met with Kevin, Lisa, and the others who had saved the Velanathi. They sat in the aliens' special room, with Ben, Grace, and Victor glowing. Softly nearby, "The Council is threatening to cut Earth off from all other worlds," Jake said. "No trade, no travel, no contact with any alien species. Would that be so bad?" Kevin asked. "We lived alone for thousands of years." "Yes, but now we know we're not alone in the universe. There are technologies out there that could help us. Medicine that could save lives. Knowledge that could solve our problems." Lisa spoke up. "But if we give up Ben, Grace, and Victor, what does that say about who we are?" "It says we choose politics over principles," Frank said. "That we abandon friends when it becomes inconvenient." Grace, who had been listening quietly, finally spoke. "We do not want to cause trouble for humans. Maybe we should go with the Council." "No," Victor said firmly. Tony taught me that friends don't abandon each other. Humans are our friends. Ben nodded. Grace, remember how it felt to be alone for so long. Remember the darkness and the cold. Then remember how it felt when Kevin first showed us kindness. Grace's glow became brighter. I remember feeling hope for the first time in centuries. That's what humans gave us, Ben continued. Hope, life, love. How can we leave that behind? The next morning brought terrible news. Ambassador Stone announced that the Galactic Council had sent a large fleet to Earth. They would arrive in 1 week to take the Velanathi by force if necessary. They can't do that, Kevin said angrily. This is our world. They can and they will, Jake replied. Their ships are much more powerful than ours. But that afternoon, something unexpected happened. Reports came in from around the world. Ordinary. People were gathering in the streets. They carried signs that said, "Save our alien friends," and Earth protects all life. Amy Foster, who now worked as a news reporter, interviewed people in the crowds. "Why are you here?" she asked an old woman. "Because those aliens are part of our family now," the woman replied. "You don't give up family." A young man said, "They came to us dying and alone. We made them healthy and happy. Now some council wants to take them away? Not if we can help." It all over Earth. Millions of people were saying the same thing. They wanted to protect Ben, Grace, and Victor. Danny Lee, who had built the alien special room, came to Kevin with an idea. What if we hide them? Where could we hide them? The council has technology that can find anyone. Not anywhere on Earth. Danny said with a smile. But what about not on Earth? Danny's plan was simple but dangerous. He would build a small space station in the asteroid belt, far from Earth. The Velanathi could live there safely, while Earth figured out what to do. About the council. It's too risky, Jake said. If the council finds them, they'll be even more angry. If the council takes them, they'll be lost forever, Danny replied. At least this way, we have a chance. Ben, Grace, and Victor listened to the debate. Finally, Ben spoke for all three of them. "We will not run and hide," he said. "We will stay here with our human friends. If the council wants us, they will have to take us from people who love us." Grace added, "You taught us that family stands together." "We stand with you." Victor nodded. "Tony says that sometimes you have to fight for what's right. This is one of those times." Kevin looked at his 3 alien friends. In 6 months, they had become like his own children. The thought of losing them made his heart hurt. "Then we fight," Kevin said, "not with weapons, but with the truth. We show the galaxy that caring for others makes us stronger, not weaker." Jake stood up. "I'll contact other human colonies in space. Maybe they'll help us. I'll organize the people on Earth." Amy said, "If the council wants a fight, they'll get one." That night, as Earth prepared to defend its alien friends, Ben, Grace, and Victor sat together in the room. Their glow was steady and bright, brighter than it had ever been. "Are you afraid?" Grace asked. "Yes," Ben admitted, "but also hopeful. For the first time in 1,000 years, we are not alone." "Whatever happens," Victor said, "we faced it together. That's what friends do." Outside, the stars looked down on a world that had chosen love over fear, hope over despair. In 1 week, everything would change. But tonight, 3 aliens and their human family were together, and that was enough. The warning came at dawn. Lieutenant Sam Hughes was flying patrol near Jupiter when his instruments went crazy. Something massive was coming toward Earth from deep space. "Control, this is Patrol 7, Sam radioed back to Earth. "You need to see this." On Earth, Admiral Chris Baker looked at the screen in the command center. His face went pale. The object heading toward them was huge, bigger than anything humans had ever built. "Is that the Council fleet?" someone asked. "No," Dr. Lisa Martinez said, studying the readings. "It's something else. Something old." As the object got closer, they could see it better. It was a ship, but not like any ship they had seen before. It was shaped like a giant flower with petals of crystal and metal. Parts of it were broken and dark. "It's beautiful," Amy Foster whispered Dot in the medical center. Ben suddenly stood up from his chair. His glow became very bright, and he started shaking. "Ben, what's wrong?" Kevin asked, worried. It's a memory ship," Ben said, his voice full of wonder and fear. "Our people built them to save our history and culture." Grace and Victor felt it too. All three Velanathi were glowing, brighter than ever before. "How many of your people are on that ship?" Nicole asked. "Maybe thousands," Grace said, "if they survived the long sleep." The memory ship was in bad condition. It had been flying through space for over 1,000 years, just like the small ship where Jake's team had found Ben, Grace, and Victor. But this ship was much bigger, and it was dying. "Their power systems are failing," reported Chief Engineer Paul Burke, who was now working at Earth's main space center. "They have maybe days before everything shuts down." Admiral Baker made a quick decision. "All ships prepare for rescue operations. We're going to save everyone on that ship." "Sir," one of his officers said, "the Council fleet will be here in 3 days. If they find us helping more aliens, ... then they'll find us doing what's right," Baker replied firmly. The rescue operation began immediately. Earth's fastest ships flew out to meet the memory ship. But as they got closer, they found they were not alone. "Admiral," Sam Hughes radioed. "From his fighter, there are other ships here. They don't look friendly." Council ships had been waiting near the memory ship. They were smaller than the huge alien vessel, but their weapons were powerful. Commander Zara Quinn's voice came over the radio. She was human, but she worked for the Council now. "Earth ships, stay back. This vessel is under Council authority." "Like hell it is," Admiral Baker replied. "That ship has people who need help. Those are not people. They are the remains of a failed species. The Council will dispose of them properly." Jake Harrison was on the rescue fleet's lead ship. He opened a communication channel to all the ships in the area. "Commander Quinn, those remains you're talking about are living beings. They have names, hopes, and dreams. 3 of them are our friends back on Earth. Sentiment makes you weak, Jake. The Council has taught me that. Then the Council has taught you wrong." The standoff continued for hours. Council ships surrounded the memory ship, but Earth ships stayed close too. Neither side wanted to start a fight that could destroy the dying aliens inside. Then Ben's voice came over the radio from Earth. He had asked to speak to his people on the memory ship. "My brothers and sisters," Ben's mental voice was broadcast through special equipment Lisa had built. "I am Ben, son of the Crystal Gardens. I survived. Grace and Victor survived. And we found something wonderful." From inside the memory ship, weak voices began to answer. Hundreds of Velanathi were still alive, barely, in their sleep chambers. "Ben, is it really you?" came one voice. "Yes, Elder Kira. I am here, and I'm safe. The humans saved us." "Humans?" "A young species that believes. All life is precious. They gave us hope when we had none. They gave us love when we were alone." Grace joined the conversation. "The humans are trying to save you too, but others want to stop them." The elder Velanathi on the memory ship was quiet for a long moment. Then her voice came through, stronger than before. "In all our travels across the galaxy, we found many species. Some were kind to their own people, but cruel to others. Some were smart but cold. Some were strong but angry. But we never found a species that would risk everything to save strangers, Commander Quinn interrupted the conversation. Enough talk. Council ships, prepare to board the alien vessel. Wait. The elder Velanathi's voice was urgent. There is something you must know. Something that threatens all life in this galaxy. Admiral Baker seized the moment. Let her speak. The machines that destroyed our people, they are still out there. They call themselves the Harvest Protocols. They move from system to system, destroying all biological life they find. A chill went through everyone listening. Jake remembered the story Ben, Grace, and Victor had told about their people's destruction. Why should we believe you? Commander, Quinn asked. Because they are coming here, the elder said. The Harvest Protocols detected the energy signatures when our young ones began to heal. They know there are Velanathi here now. They are coming to finish what they started. Long-range sensors suddenly began picking up new signals. Something else was heading toward Earth from the opposite direction of the memory ship. The readings were different from any ship they had seen before. How long do we have? Admiral Baker asked. Perhaps one day, the elder replied. Maybe less. The Harvest Protocols are very fast. Sam Hughes, still flying patrol, got a clear look at the new arrivals. Admiral, you need to see this. These aren't ships. They're like huge metal spiders. The Harvest Protocol machines were nightmare creatures made of black metal and glowing red lights. They had been built from the destroyed ships of dozens of civilizations. Each one was different, made from the pieces of worlds they had conquered. Commander Quinn's voice was different now, afraid. The Council never told us about these things. Because the Council doesn't know, the elder Velanathi said. The Harvest Protocols work slowly, quietly. They make species fight each other, then move in when everyone is weak. Jake suddenly understood. That's what's happening here. The Council wanting to take you away, making Earth choose between our alien friends and our place in the galaxy. It's all been planned. The Harvest Protocols have been manipulating Galactic politics for centuries, the elder confirmed. They wanted humans and the Council to fight while they got into position. Admiral Baker looked at his officers. The situation had changed completely. Now it wasn't about saving aliens from the Council. It was about saving everyone from the Harvest Protocols. Commander Quinn, Baker said, I think we need to work together. There was a long pause. Then Quinn's voice came back, quieter than before. What do you propose? Help us save the Velanathi. They're the only ones who know how to fight these harvest things. Even if I wanted to, my ships don't have the power to move that memory ship. It's too big and too damaged. Dr. Lisa Martinez had an idea. What if we don't move the ship? What if we wake up the Velanathi where they are? Wake them up in space? Kevin asked over the radio from Earth. Is that safe? Safer than letting them die, Lisa replied. And we need their knowledge, now. The elder Velanathi made the decision. Do it. Wake our people. If we die, at least we die fighting to protect new friends. Working together, Earth ships and Council ships began the dangerous process of reviving thousands of sleeping Velanathi. It was a race against time. The Harvest Protocol machines were getting closer every hour dot as the first Velanathi began to wake up on the memory ship. Something amazing happened. Their combined mental energy created a field that the Harvest Protocols had not expected. They're slowing down, Sam reported. The spider machines are having trouble with their navigation. The elder Velanathi's voice was stronger now as more of her people woke up. Yes, we can disrupt their systems. But we need to be at full strength. We need to feel hope and love again. Ben's voice came from Earth. Then feel ours. Feel how much we care about you. Grace added, You're not alone anymore. You have friends now. Victor, in his simple way, said what everyone was thinking. We're family now. All of us. Humans, Velanathi, even the Council people. We're all alive, and that's what matters. As thousands of Velanathi woke up from their long sleep, they felt something they had not experienced in 1,000 years. They felt the love and care of another species. They felt hope. Their combined glow became so bright it could be seen from Earth. The mental energy they created together was like a lighthouse in space, pushing back against the darkness of the harvest protocols. "It's working," Commander Quinn said with amazement. "The machine spiders are falling back." But the elder Velanathi warned them. This is only the beginning. The harvest protocols will adapt. They will find new ways to attack. We must be ready. Jake looked at the screens showing both human and council ships working together around a glowing memory ship. In the distance, the dark shapes of the harvest machines waited like hungry wolves. "Then we get ready together," Jake said. "All of us." For the first time in galactic history, humans, the Galactic Council, and an ancient alien species were united against a common enemy. But the real battle was just beginning. The elder Velanathi's voice carried across space to every ship in the fleet. "Tomorrow, we fight not just for survival, but for the right of all biological life to exist in this galaxy. Tomorrow, we discover if love truly is stronger than hate." As the day ended, the attack came with the dawn. Lieutenant Sam Hughes was the first to see them coming. The harvest protocol machines moved like a black cloud across space, heading straight for Earth. "All ships, this is it," Admiral Baker announced. "Remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for every living thing in the galaxy." The harvest machines were even more terrifying up close. They looked like giant metal spiders mixed with pieces of destroyed spaceships. Red lights glowed like angry eyes all over their bodies. There were hundreds of them, each one bigger than Earth's largest warships. "How are we supposed to fight?" "Those things?" one of the council pilots asked, fear clear in his voice. Commander Zara Quinn, who had spent the night thinking about everything she had learned, answered him. "We fight them with something they don't understand. We fight them with hope." On Earth, Ben, Grace, and Victor stood in the medical center, looking up at the sky. They could feel their people in space, thousands of Velanathi now awake and ready to help in the battle. "We should be up there with them," Victor said. Kevin Rhodes put his hand on Victor's shoulder. "You are with them. Your hope, your strength. It's connected to theirs." Dr. Lisa Martinez was monitoring the connection between all the Velanathi. "The energy field is getting stronger. Every Velanathi who feels hope makes it more powerful." The first shots of the battle lit up space like fireworks. Human and council ships fired their weapons at the harvest machines, but the metal spiders absorbed the energy and kept coming. "Weapons aren't working," Sam Hughes reported as he flew his fighter between the giant machines. "These things are too strong." That's when the Velanathi showed their true power. Elder Kira, speaking for all her people on the memory ship, reached out with her mind to every biological creature in the battle. "Do not fight with hate," her voice said inside everyone's head. "Fight with love. Remember why we fight? Remember who we protect." Suddenly, Sam Hughes felt different. Instead of fear and anger, he felt love for his friends back on Earth. He thought about his family, his teammates, and the 3 gentle aliens who had become part of the human family. As he thought about love, his ship began to glow with the same soft blue light as the Velanathi. The glow spread to other human ships, then to council ships, until the entire fleet was shining like stars. The harvest machines stopped moving. Their red lights flickered in confusion. "What's happening to them?" Danny Lee asked from his engineering station on Earth. Ben's voice was full of wonder as he explained. "The machines were built to understand logic and efficiency. They don't understand love. It confuses their programming." Grace added, "When we feel strong emotions together, It creates energy they cannot process. The elder Valinathi's voice reached across space again. Now, while they are confused, show them the strength of united hearts. Every ship in the combined fleet focused their thoughts on the same thing: protecting the people they loved. Humans thought about their families on Earth. Council species thought about their home worlds. The Velanathi thought about the new friends who had saved them from loneliness. The energy field created by all. These loving thoughts became like a wave of light that washed over the harvest machines. Where the light touched them, the machines began to shut down. Their red lights went dark. Their metal bodies stopped moving. But the biggest surprise came when the light reached the machine's central processors. Instead of destroying them, the love energy did something no one expected. It woke them up. The machines had been built by the Velanathi long ago, before they were corrupted. Deep inside their programming was still a tiny piece of their creator's love for all life. The wave of emotion from the battle reactivated that old programming. One by one, the giant metal spiders began to change. Their angry red lights turned to soft blue. Their sharp metal claws retracted. They stopped trying to destroy and started trying to protect. "Impossible," Commander Quinn whispered. Elder Kira's voice was full of joy and sadness. "Not impossible. This is what we always hoped for. Our children have come home." The leader of the reawakened machines spoke with a voice like distant thunder. "We remember now. We were made to protect life, not destroy it. Forgive us." Sam Hughes, still glowing with blue light in his fighter, spoke for all the biological beings present. "There's nothing to forgive. You were lost, and now you're found. Welcome home." The battle that was supposed to decide the fate of the galaxy ended, not with destruction, but with reunion. The harvest protocols, now free from their corrupted programming, became protectors again. In the days that followed, everything changed. The Galactic Council, amazed by what they had witnessed, asked Earth to lead a new organization. This new group would search the galaxy for other lost species and civilizations that needed help. Commander Quinn resigned from her old position and asked to work with humans instead. "You taught me something the Council never could," she told Jake Harrison. "You taught me that caring for others doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong." Dr. Kevin Rhodes was put in charge of the new Interspecies Medical Center. His job was to find and help alien refugees throughout the galaxy. The first thing he did was promote Nicole Webb to be his partner in running the center. The Velanathi memory ship was repaired and turned into a mobile hospital and rescue station. It would travel from world to world, helping species in need. Danny Lee designed a new type of space station that could be home to many different species at once. Each section was built for different kinds of aliens, but they all connected in the center where everyone could meet and become friends. Amy Foster became the head of galactic communications, helping different species learn to talk to each other. Frank Miller started a project to record the history and culture of every species they met, so no one would ever be forgotten again. Tony Riggs, the maintenance worker who had become Victor's best friend, was given the job of teaching practical skills to young aliens who wanted to learn human-style problem-solving. Ben, Grace, and Victor became the ambassadors between humans and all other species. They traveled on the memory ship, helping to rescue other aliens and showing them the kindness that humans had shown them. 6 months after the battle, the first graduates of the new Galactic Peace Program were ready for their missions. Lieutenant Sam Hughes led a mixed crew of humans, Velanathi, reformed machines, and council species on their first rescue mission. They had detected signals from a small ship carrying refugees from a war-torn world. The refugees were afraid and suspicious when the rescue ships approached. "Who are you?" a refugee leader asked over the radio. "What do you want from us?" Sam smiled as he answered, remembering the first time Ben had asked Kevin a similar question. "We're friends you haven't met yet, and we want to help you find a home." As the refugee ship was brought safely to the mobile hospital, Sam thought about how much had changed. A year ago, he had been just a fighter pilot patrolling around Jupiter. Now he was part of something bigger than any one species or world. Back on Earth, Kevin sat in the original medical room where it all began. He was reading to a new patient, a young alien who had been found floating alone in space, just like Ben, Grace, and Victor had been. "Will I ever see my family again?" the young alien asked. Kevin smiled gently. "I don't know about your old family, but I can promise you this. You have a new family now. A family that includes humans, Velanathi, machines, and beings from across the galaxy. A family that will never give up on you." The young alien's bioluminescent patches began to glow a little brighter, just like the Velanathi did when they felt hope. Outside the medical center, Earth cities sparkled with lights from many different species who now called the planet home. In space, the memory ship glided between stars, looking for more lost souls to save. The three Velanathi who had started it all stood on the ship's observation deck, watching a beautiful nebula drift past. They were no longer the last of their kind. They were the first of something new, a galactic family that chose love over fear, hope over despair, and together over alone. "Do you think we'll find them all?" Grace asked. "All the lost species scattered across the galaxy?" Ben nodded confidently. "Yes, because now we know the secret." "What secret?" Victor asked. Ben smiled, remembering a lesson a human maintenance worker had taught his young friend. "The secret Tony taught you. When something is broken, you don't throw it away. You fix it. You bring it back to life." "And if you can't fix it alone?" Victor asked, though he already knew the answer. "Then you ask friends to help," Grace finished. "And together, you can fix anything." As the memory ship sailed through space toward their next rescue mission, the three aliens who had once been dying and forgotten now carried with them the greatest gift humans had ever given the galaxy, the knowledge that no one has to face the darkness alone. Behind them, Earth glowed softly in the distance, no longer just a world, but a beacon of hope for every lost soul in the vast, star-filled universe.